Strength and honor.
Strength and honor.
Strength and honor.
At my signal, unleash hell.
Top of the week to y'all. The English language is full of curses and spells, hence why we learn how to write in cursive and how to spell in grade school. Each week we awake in the morning to go to our jobs on the weekdays to earn a living. The translation of that, trance, T-R-A-N-C-E, awake is a funeral for the dead. Mourning is what you do when you lose a loved one. You have to be in a weekdays to earn a living, since earn is the ashes, since earn are ashes for the dead, and job is Hebrew for persecution. And at the end of this, we get the weak end of the deal, and we're weakened. So, happy Monday.
Yo, Bob, you smoke? Oh, somebody said smoking that good. I thought you said you ain't smoking that good. You ain't smoking that good, bruh. Yeah, I know smoking isn't good. I'm not perfect. It's not as bad as all this other shit out here. I was watching that Kingsman movie. You know, in that Kingsman movie, I don't want to give nothing away, but there was a fact in that Kingsman movie, the new Kingsman movie. They said sugar is like 5 times more addictive than cocaine. I said, say what? But sugar is legal. Because of what's going on in this timeline, being a truther or a woke person who's, studies conspiracies is no longer a lonely place like it used to be. But with that, it's 2 things that you got to remember. One, all the higher ups and the powers that be know about all the conspiracy accounts, and they know exactly what you're gonna post. So some of these headlines they put out be intentionally put out for all of y'all to broadcast to the people. So you got to understand it's a thin line between spreading information and fear porn.
This moves 20 miles to the west, and you and everyone you know are dead.
And then secondly, like, y'all can reach out to motherfuckers now and get their personal experiences and their accounts on what happened or what is happening. We don't no longer have to be bound by what one faction that controls all the textbooks and all the printing press, or one news syndicate that tells everybody what happened. Like, now you can reach out to people. Like, use that shit. The power's in your hand, motherfucker. I'm gone. Is Pizzagate real? What do you think? Nigga, what do you think? Do you know what Satanism is? You know what satanic ritual abuse is? When something is just, you know how you just know something is true and you like feel it right here, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what this is how you discern shit. Like, all this shit right here, this is how you discern what's true or not. Like, this is just like your mind. They teach us that our mind is like the shit that figures everything out, but that's not true. This brain controls your body and all your motor functions and all your organ and bodily functions, but this is where you exist. This is your center, you know what I'm saying? So it don't matter what I say or what nobody else say, what the president say, what anybody say. You know what the fuck when you feel that shit right here. That's what the truth is. All right, first book. Dark Light Consciousness. Dark Light Consciousness by Edward Bruce Bynum, PhD. He breaks down sacred geometry, of course. He breaks down he goes in depth about the inner workings of the body, how melanin operates in the mind, the double helix. He really goes in depth. It's very deep, in depth for you logical people that really need to logically explain to your mind what's happening. Somebody said digital world. Everybody been asking me about Bitcoin. A lot of people been asking me about Bitcoin. I'm not sure how I feel about Bitcoin.
I mean, I know what it is. I know it's cryptocurrency, and I know it cannot be under the jurisdiction of any one government. But it could be a cryptocurrency for the new Matrix, the next level. Because I mean, you know, I think they're very well aware. Everybody is investing into a new reality, and digital currency is like the you know, it's the new currency. It's the new currency for the new Matrix niggas is trying to make.
A lot of people that find out about this cloning stuff find it very frightening, and yes, it is scary. And a lot of that fear comes from the fact that we've been programmed to believe that we're the only sentient beings on the planet. I mean, on the plane.
Shit, Astral Dynamics by Robert Bruce. Astral Dynamics talks about the energy. Talks about a different energy body. If anybody's ever had sleep paralysis, where you wake up and you can't move, but your mind is awake, or if you feel yourself falling back into your body when you go to sleep, or if you see shadows, or whatever it is that you see, this book really breaks down what's actually happening. People are getting caught up in beliefs and religion and everything people be saying. And that's the shit that keeps us separated, because it'd be like, well, you don't believe this? Well, nah, if you don't believe this, we can't. Nah, man, fuck that nigga, he don't believe this. Or she don't believe that? Nah, man, she don't believe that. Nah, man. That's how they do it. It's so basic. It's like so, and I'm not talking about like, I ain't talking about like people that, like it's certain people that if you don't click with, you don't click with them, and that's it. You don't give it your energy. But, you know, I feel like it's so counterproductive to like, for there to be this ongoing debate about who believes what and why you believe this and why this person's wrong for believing this and why that person's wrong for believing that. And that shit is old. That shit's for the birds. That shit's what slaves do. Are you a slave? No, you're not a slave. You gonna build with your people, and you gonna build with those who like-minded. And if they not, then they not. So that's all that's gonna happen. You dig what I'm saying? I know y'all dig what I'm saying. You wouldn't even be watching this live if you ain't dig what I'm saying, because I know y'all smarter than that.
So I'm just, I'm like, a part of the reason why I'm talking about all the shit I'm talking about is just because it's my purpose, like, to speak about it. Like, I can't help it. Like, I literally cannot, like, making music. And I'm not here to be no prophet or no leader. I'm just a messenger. Like, I'm here to tell y'all some shit to help y'all critical think, because the whole point is, if y'all ain't able to critical think on your own, then what good am I doing? You know what I'm saying? And if you hating, you getting blocked, motherfucker.
So I've been doing my research on vaccines and vaccinations and such. So I decided, let me go to the CDC website and see what they have to say about vaccines. I went to the frequently asked questions, and it says, children should not get MMRV vaccine if they have ever had a life-threatening allergic reaction to a previous dose of MMRV vaccine, or to either MMR or varicella vaccine. You should also not get the vaccine if you've ever had a life-threatening allergic reaction to any component of the vaccine, including gelatin or the antibiotic neomycin. So let's look up how healthy and safe neomycin is. In 2005-2006, neomycin was the 5th most prevalent allergen in patch test results. Neomycin, like other aminoglycosides, has been shown to be autotoxic, causing tinnitus, hearing loss, and vestibular problems in patients. So, I don't know, man. That's up to y'all. It's your children. Someone said, are you actually happy? Of course. Hey, let me tell y'all something. Y'all need to watch this movie called 13th Floor. The 13th Floor? Y'all need to watch that shit. That shit's a very It's kind of like The Matrix. I mean, obviously it's not as good as The Matrix, but you know what I'm saying. Like it's basically like one of them thought-provoking movies that challenges what reality is. Because if the mind makes reality real, what is reality? Like what's real can't be defined by external means, because if you read the book Holographic Universe, then you know that all reality we experience is illusionary phenomenon, is auditive, vibrational phenomenon that is sort of like projected through our mind, and the mind is an apparatus for the soul. So y'all should check that out. And so I'm saying that because someone asked me if I'm happy. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy because I choose to be happy. I'm not happy because of any external means. I'm happy because I choose to be happy.
Some people ask me, you know, if the Earth is flat, man, like, are the other planets flat? Are the stars flat too? You can't hold on to old, obsolete beliefs that you've been taught. Like, everything that you've been taught is a lie. It's programming. Shouts out to all the people who bought telescopes and who got, you know, the cameras with the super zoom so you can actually see it for yourself. You can see this for yourself.
Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot. He again breaks down how the mind creates the universe. He talks about how holograms work and how your mind visualizes holograms, the inner workings of all this shit, and how the vibration and all that shit. Breaks it down. Michael Talbot. So look, I'm gonna take some questions, man. What's up? Ask me some questions. They really fucking blocking my page right now. It's so crazy. I can't believe this.
So last year I started talking about the cloning shit, and I didn't realize until this year that a lot of people don't understand what it is. Like, they think it's just about like copying a person or replicating body tissue, and that's not even. Yeah, I've looked up Planet Nibiru, Planet X, but like it's not just about copying a person. It's about consciousness transfer, and it started with MK Ultra. And the reason why this is important is because it's a lot of people that are unwillingly participating in this shit, and they don't even fucking know it. It's mind control, and it started with Germany. It started after World War II. All the Nazis were, you know, escorted, VIP'd in. All the top scientists and military personnel were harbored in the United States and South America. And also, prior to that, the Nazis went to Antarctica. And a lot of the reason why Admiral Byrd went to Antarctica was because the Nazis were in Antarctica. Yes, Werner von Braun, exactly. Fucking props, Aaron Badescu. I don't know if I'm saying the name right, my bad. But Werner von Braun is actually he said he actually started NASA, I believe. And on Werner von Braun's tombstone, he has a Bible verse that talks about the firmament. So I thought that was interesting. 2 years ago, I did an experiment to see if there was any truth to what's called Microplasma Laboratorium, I guess, but it's better known as Morgellons. I went and got a microscope, the most powerful microscope commercially available to buy, and I got raw cranberry juice. You have to get raw cranberry juice, not ocean spray or nothing that's, you know, processed. And you gargle it in your mouth for about 2 to 5 minutes. And basically what this does is it pulls the synthetic fibers, synthetic microfibers or the nanotech out of your, I don't know if it pulls it through your skin membrane or if it just pulls it from your saliva glands.
So I looked at the cranberry juice by itself to make sure there wasn't nothing in it, so I could know what was already in it. You know, you can see like pieces of the cranberry skin or whatever. And so then I went and gargled it for about 2 to 5 minutes. And I spit it out and looked at it under a microscope. And clearly I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but there's something in there. And if you have rubbing alcohol, you can pour it on it and the motherfucking shit starts twitching crazy. That's not even the strangest part. The strangest part to me is that the medical community doesn't even classify this as a real substance. They say that it's delusional. They call it parasitosis or something. Delusional parasitosis or some shit. Some people even push these fibers out of their skin. Like their skin, some people's skin actually reject these fibers. So there's a lot of theories about what this could be. Is connected to smart dust, which is synthetic nanobots found, and also synthetic parasites that are found. And basically the theory is that these are put into our environment, into our food and water sources, so that they kind of act as sort of a conduit for all of the frequencies that are transmitted in the air from these ELF towers and these Gwen towers. Every 1/4 of a mile you see these towers popping up, which aren't cell phone towers. And if you actually look at the specifications of these towers, they're way more powerful than what a cell phone tower should be.
And yes, Jim Carrey is very awake. Let me ask y'all a question. Okay, this is how we're gonna break it down. How many of y'all saw Jim and Andy, the shit on Netflix? How many of y'all saw that? Well, look, for the people who have seen it, y'all gotta watch that shit. And he's doing something called method acting, where he's channeling the spirit of some people who have passed. Well, first of all, he's channeling this dude named Andy. I can't think of his last name, but this dude named Andy, and he's also channeling this character that was made up. But he's really channeling their spirit and their energy. And if anybody's been watching what Jim Carrey's been saying recently in his interviews, he's talking about how Jim Carrey's just a character that he's playing. He's not even really here. So if Jim Carrey is just the character he's playing, as well as Andy and as well as Tony, who the fuck is Jim Carrey? Who is the dude that is behind the nigga playing Jim Carrey? That's the real question. So you gotta kind of think outside the box in terms of what's real and what's actually happening.
I also get asked a lot, am I a clone? From my understanding, Donald has seen a clone of me in the cloning center. I am memory suppressed, however, I do have memories of what fit the description of the cloning center and the arena. Some people say, are you controlled opposition? Why are you just now talking about cloning? Why are you just not speaking up on these things? You're right to think that, but take this into consideration. If you're familiar with my song Missing, Dr. Aiden, The Watchers, my New Black mixtape, you know that this is not my first time speaking out. I'm just now learning about cloning. Like, I just found out about it a couple months ago, and I was scared as fuck. When I first found out about cloning, I was fucking terrified. Like, supernatural shit was happening around my house. I was jumping out of my sleep, seeing shit. I got all types of knives and guns hanging out of my mattress and my pillows and shit. Like, I had to beef up my security. I was really scared for my life. I literally had to face the fear of death. I thought that when I spoke out about cloning, they were gonna kill me. Like, I swear to God. On mama.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating how we can hear stories about, Pablo Escobar, how one man took over a whole country damn near. A crime syndicate, head of a crime syndicate, extorting all the politicians, all the law enforcers. But when it comes to America, we feel like we immune to that shit. The Gnostics, by, I'm not going to say the name, take a screenshot. Jacques Lacaille. How about a textbook? Well, how about this? What's the bibliography for the textbook? The next time you read a textbook, look at the bibliography about where they got all the information from. Find the source information. How about that one? I'll do you one better. So, the Gnostics, he breaks down good highlight. When, I don't know, Basilide, I don't know, says that the world is an illusion, he does not mean that the world we live in does not exist, but that it exists in the form of an illusion. It is the mirage of another world as yet uncreated, unengendered. So, am I worried about the higher-ups? Why would I be worried about the higher-ups? Last time I checked, we was the most powerful people ever, so I don't know what, I don't know what I'll be worried about, what anybody else will be worried about. We cool. I understand how creation works. I understand how protection works. It's nothing anybody can do. But so anyway, after World War II, the Nazis went to Antarctica and found this fucking supercomputer. And this supercomputer was I ain't got no lighter. Here we go. And so this supercomputer was already there and under the fucking ice. And it's kind of like that movie Prometheus, where they go find that spaceship and it's like a supercomputer already in there. And so a part of the reason why Admiral Byrd went down there was they made it seem like he was just trying to explore Antarctica, but he was trying to go see what the fuck the Nazis was doing, and he got his ass turned back. If you look at that interview, it looks like he's not really telling the truth about what he saw. Like, you can tell something is like on his heart when he's talking. Like, go look at that interview about Admiral Byrd. And so basically, the Nazis coming to America and South America is what started Operation Paperclip, and it's what started the CIA and the NSA. And so the Central Intelligence Agency is actually like all of the major Hollywood studios. They're actually the CIA, and that's why all this information gets put into these movies. It's sort of like a soft disclosure, sort of like a predictive programming. I don't know, but like, you ever see these movies and it's just like, why the fuck are these secrets in this fucking movie? And it's like, that's why the CIA is behind it. And it's not even just like behind it, like they literally are Hollywood. And so where was I? So anyway, I'm trying to be brief. So basically, with Operation Paperclip, that's what started all the MK Ultra tests and them grabbing people involuntarily, all the missing kids and missing people that were used for MK Ultra. And what they would do is they would experiment with consciousness transfer, where they could transfer your consciousness, and also they could replicate DNA. They could replicate your body. They could replicate your body, put you in another body, train you to be an assassin or fucking anything, and then transfer you, and then wipe your memory and transfer you back into your original body, and you think that you just had a crazy ass dream, and it happens different. It happens different for different people. Like, certain people were like kidnapped and kept on these bases. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe they were like they trained them, transferred their consciousness, trained them, put them back in their original body, put them back into society as some Hollywood actor or artist that just pops up out of nowhere. You never heard of him, or a president, or a news anchor, or the CEO of a huge multi-billion-dollar company. And then somebody said, how do you awaken your Kundalini? Kundalini is already there. That's one thing that you got to understand. Your Kundalini is already there, and it's already happening. It's just about you recognizing when it happens, and it's not some special feeling that's like only left for the gods.
The first time that I contacted Donald, there was a tremendous amount of interference. I mean, the footage got distorted. There were helicopters and planes and shit flying over my house. Airplanes. That song was written and produced before I ever got a hold of it. It was actually intended for Lupe. Y'all gotta understand how this shit work in this industry. Like, this shit is all set up. Like, talk to Lupe about airplanes. He'll tell you. Shouts out to Lupe.
Even the Illuminati, the 13 bloodlines that run the world. look up. This is not even no theory, y'all. You can look up the 25 banks that own everything. Nigga, everything? Nigga, everything. And, you know, we feel like we're doing something because, you know, we find out, you know, who Rockefeller is and, you know, we find out who the Rothschilds are. And we like, man, figured it out. No. All them are just puppets. You think the government and the politicians are puppets? Or even the Illuminati's puppets? It's something much darker behind all of that shit. It doesn't matter if somebody calls you crazy. It really doesn't. At this point, the shit that's finna happen, the shit that they finna do, you think people calling you crazy is the worst that could happen? You got two different types of people. You know, you got the people that are like, you know, that doesn't make sense. Like, explain that to me. You got people like that. Don't turn those people away. And then you got some people that are just like, this is stupid, you fucking idiot, this is dumb. Like, don't even smack them people. Like, it's a waste of time. They're angry because they can't even express themselves. They don't have the vocabulary or the knowledge to express themselves. If you let yourself become entangled with those people, then you're just letting the same negative parasitic entity feed off of your energy and siphon off your energy that's using them. With trolls, like, fuck the trolls. But the people who have real questions and really want to understand it, then, you know, have a conversation. There's something behind that. Something that's been going on and it's finally being disclosed. It's coming out. That's why all these people is trying to get this information out about the pedo gate. All this information coming out about the sex trafficking, the organ trafficking. We in the time of disclosure. Everybody is risking their lives to put this information out just to get a tiny bit of y'all. Gnosticism. I recommend getting both of these books, the Gnostics and Gnosticism, Ancient Traditions of Inner Working, and the Gnostic Bible, which is what the Bible is based off of. For you people who just want to read the Bible and it's like, no, that's it. This is where the Bible comes from. The table of contents is banging. Talks about the creation of reality, the fall of Sophia. Fuck yeah, collective light. You paying attention? I'm fucking with it. Breaks the shit down. No questions. No assumptions. The Pale Fox. The Pale Fox by, I don't know how to say these names correctly. Just take a screenshot. The Pale Fox talks about, it goes in depth into the Dogon tribe. They got a lot of great, they even describe how the Dogon listed the heavenly bodies. Like the pole star was Eye of the World. Venus was called Star of the Goat Herds. The Goat Herds, I think. The rising sun was Son of the East. They had like everything broken down, and even Jupiter was called a star. So planets always meant wandering stars, and back then they didn't even call them planets. They called them all stars. And the Dogon, Sacred Symbols of the Dogon by Leard Scranton. They also break down how, you know, these are two good books because they break down how the Dogon tribe, they break down how the Dogon tribe knew of all the stars before telescopes even existed. And, you know, historians like, you know, the Smithsonians and all them try to downplay the Dogon tribe like aliens came and gave them all that knowledge, but whatever.
Labeling people is not like labeling people, because I see a lot of people ask me like, man, who's controlled opposition, man? Who's this? Who's that? It's like, you don't know nothing. You don't know. You could have your own organization, and the fucking feds or CIA could infiltrate your organization. You wouldn't even know it. You wouldn't even know it. Out here talking about some, who's this, man? I don't know, man. What you think? I don't know, man. You think he controlled, man? I don't know. It's like, you have no idea what game somebody. You have no idea if somebody's playing checkers or chess, because everybody who say they fucking conscious, or they say they woke, or they say they a flat earther, or they say they, you know, they a Hebrew or Israelite, or they say they this or they that. That shit don't mean shit. If you're not able to tell from your own
from your own critical thinking and from your own heart chakra, what's going on and who's who, then it don't matter. You dig what I'm saying? Stop looking at the surface of shit. That don't mean shit. That's how they get you. It's like, I don't know, man. He said he's the real deal, man. He knows his shit, man. I mean, he mentioned all these facts, man. Like shit. He mentioned he talked about the Masons, man. He talked about Illuminati. He talked about Pizzagate. Fuck. He's gotta be the real deal. Like that shit. Get off that shit, man. Start to understand what's really going on, and you can recognize who's real, and you'll just know. You ain't gotta ask nobody. You ain't gotta prove yourself to nobody. Ain't nobody gotta prove themselves to you. It's a connection. But that's if you know who you are. If you don't, then you just, whatever.
Like they can take your consciousness, put you in an environment, and have you trained for like 100 years, and it's really like 5 minutes past. And it's also the reason why you can fall asleep for 2 seconds and have a whole goddamn dream just from dozing off, and you wake up like, oh shit, because time is electromagnetism. It's a bubble, and so basically, where was I at? So basically, a lot of people are involuntarily involved in this cloning shit, and the cloning is not just being a clone. It's not like we're gonna give you a new body and control you. It's like that's not what it is. It's the consciousness transfer. It's this breakaway civilization that's been going on for eons and eons. There's no telling if this has been happening for thousands of years or millions of years, but either way, it's a time loop. We're stuck in this time loop because a parasitic infection came and I don't know, it got in here. I have to look up a way to express it so that everybody understands it, but basically it doesn't really matter, like however you want to look at it, a parasitic infection, if you want to look at it like aliens, if you want to look at it like I don't know, but there was basically a parasitic infection, and it took over this realm that we're in. This world isn't supposed to be what it is. That's why all this bullshit is going on, and ain't nobody like judges ordering police officers to tase people in court. Like all this bullshit that happens with the police brutality and the missing people and the everybody harboring all these pedophiles and this sex trafficking and child trafficking, all this shit. Like, why is all this shit happening? These motherfuckers got all this knowledge and access to your personal information. They know where everybody is with their iPhones. They know what your fingerprints are. They know your face. They can find Bin Laden in the cave, but they can't find all these sex traffickers. They can't find all these people kidnapping these kids. Now that's some bullshit. Now what I'm saying is, it's a reason for that shit. Like, it's not that they don't know, they do know, and they're all in on it. And so they have to feed this parasitic entity that is controlling this realm. And the only way to end this is to stop feeding the beast. It's to stop feeding the parasite. It's not gonna happen from us rioting in the streets. It's not gonna happen from us marching up to the White House. What's gonna happen is y'all gonna educate yourselves, and y'all are gonna detox your bodies, and y'all gonna spread this knowledge and spread this information until everybody knows, and we stop feeding this parasite, and we fucking end this matrix illusion. And what's actually happening when, well, look, I'll explain it to you. Everything that your ego is here to protect you. So when people say alter ego, multiple personality disorder, anything, they're merely creations, like that movie Split. Who saw that movie Split? It's like that. It's like everything you experience in life, you create a persona for it. Like when you get on the phone and you talk with that
Hey, yes, this is Henry Peacoat, and I'm calling about my cable. And you create this entity, like everything you do is for survival out of necessity. And survival are things that you create, that your ego creates. It's like personalities are creations of the ego. And you create them based on out of necessity and survival, and out of trauma, repetition, and symbols. That's how your subconscious mind is programmed. So so basically what y'all are witnessing is that of a is the creation of the mind. So your mind creates all these personalities and entities and different things. So y'all motherfuckers who think that you're not creating entities, you already do it. It's the same reason why people say we miss the old Bob, because that's what I created. You know what I'm saying? The beast mode Bob. Okay then. It's a beast mode Bob. It's a Bobby Ray singing guitar Bob. It's a Bobby Ray bands. He's like more grown, an adult. And then there's like, just the regular calm down me, which is still another creation. So it's like 4 different Bobs. If you listen to the Upside Down, point out the 4 different Bobs when they appear. It's all a creation of the mind.
And also too, y'all need to pay attention to these other celebrities when they're leaving hints. They're leaving clues all over the place. Everybody can't talk. Everybody can't talk because, they got kids or, they made some type of agreement. But pay attention. Everybody who's in this shit or who's in this industry or who has a clone is not evil or malicious. Some people just got born into this shit, like me.
The shift is happening, and it ain't gonna be pretty. It is not gonna be pretty. You dig what I'm saying? But it's gotta get ugly. It's like cleaning out your house. You gotta get all that shit from under the stove, under the dresser, under the fridge. You gotta see that shit. You gotta clean that shit out. And that's what's happening. The disclosure. So, look, if you want to go even further back, Black Athena, I don't know how to say that name, Martin Bernal, I guess it's backwards. It talks about, if you know anything about like how, because you got to connect the dots. It's like a picture. Like, the ancient mystery schools of Earth, like when you see people talk about like, why are there all these pyramids all over the Earth? Why are there all these sacred rock formations and all this shit all around the Earth? It's because it was a mystery system, and the Egyptians didn't even call themselves Egyptians. It was like a Kemetic mystery system, an ancient mystery system that predates. That predates everything that we've been taught. And so so basically these mystery systems were passed down, and from Egypt came Gnosticism and Greek mythology. And Black Athena talks about how all the shit came out of Egypt and Africa, and basically how they basically just downplayed and just they wanted to promote the European style Greece as opposed to where it comes from. Like it breaks the shit down. The Ionians, the Dorians, the ancient native people of Helen, not Helen. I think it's called Helen. I don't know, but it wasn't called Greece basically. And they even break down how they started speaking Greek in the first place. I'm over here reading some shit. Check this shit out I'm reading. Y'all need to get on this shit. I'm finna learn about this shit. If y'all don't know about this shit, that's what I'm studying right now. If y'all don't know about Saturn, the black cube that black cube means something. Saturn. and the many different names. So yeah, man. Yeah, learn some shit, man. It's kind of a complex thing to grasp because the 1% that use this occultic knowledge to control the masses, they teach you a certain way to think. You know, you think you're on a sphere moving millions of miles through space. Why is it that all alien stories and abduction stories have to do with grays? You know, if you think with aliens, like, wouldn't it be like some other type of shit? Wouldn't it be like just all different kinds of shit? But it's always grays. It's always them. Since Kemet in Egypt and the Atlanteans were fucking around with genomics, basically tampering with the DNA pool, tampering with the gene pool, created a mutation which then moved into the ground, and they can't survive on the surface. And so, in order to get the control, they clone the leaders, and then they basically replace the leaders. And that's why in the Simpsons you always see them rip off the skin and they're like aliens.
I just wanted to talk about cloning. So if y'all want to look up cloning, it's some people that I've mentioned in the past. There's also this dude named Og Tellez. Y'all should look up. He has a lot of experiences. There's a dude named Max Spears and a dude named it's a lot of people. But you have to just use your own critical thinking, and it's very simple. It's very simple what's going on. So it's just very complicated to explain it in just a very simple way.
Bill. Look, man, I'm a fan. I grew up watching your show, but you got the wrong guy, my friend. The flat earth information did not by any way start with me or my beliefs. You know, I can point you to some books if you want to look more into it, but you know, I think it's time that, you know, you stop picking on rappers and athletes and really step up to the plate and talk to the big dogs. Why don't you sit down with Eric Dubé, my friend? He's got a book with over 200 proofs that nobody has addressed. You know, NASA be tweeting me, all they astronauts be tweeting me. Don't tweet me. Talk to Eric Dubé. You know what I'm saying? I just rap. I'm an information guy. I can just point you to the information. Talk to Eric Dubé.
So basically you have these different programs and everything that you do, your parents are the people that program you, you know, for your survival. You know, don't drink Clorox because you need to survive. And the thing is, you gotta understand that, like, mind control is not evil by nature. Mind control is simply for survival. Back in ancient Egypt, in the pre-Dynastian and Typhonian, they basically needed, you know, they knew it was three types of people. They knew it was they said, no, Bob, you're not allowed to be versatile. So they knew it was three types of people. They knew it was automatons, people who just go through life, oh, I'm just gonna do what culture does. And then you got those type of people, and then you got the intellectuals, and then you got the spirituals. The spiritual people are composed of all three aspects. So they knew that because there were automatons and people who just kind of aren't really there, they're kind of just projections of the mind, they had to program reality for those people. And then the people who got it, the people who knew, the 1% of society knew that that they have to program culture so that you know how like you see Indian culture and Chinese culture, and they marry into their family. It's like all set up, like that's what it's for. And so basically, where was I? Yeah, so I'm saying mind control isn't necessarily evil by nature. It's just how it's used. And now, because they've erased the black family and they've erased black fathers and they've made all women, I'm independent, I don't need no nigga. And because they've done all this, they're using mind control to enslave your mind, basically. So that's what it really all comes down to.
And so basically, you know, that's why lately I've just been kind of like, I've been trying to encourage people to stop giving the fucking Illuminati all the power for what happens in the mind, because nothing can happen. Nothing can happen. You can't experience anything outside of your mind. Everything that you experience is inside of your mind. So fuck the Illuminati.
So I'm still here alive. I don't know why. I don't know why I can talk. Maybe it's because I have some type of amnesty, or maybe it's because somebody extremely, extremely close to me is a Mason, and I'm protected in that sense. I don't know. But if they wanted to do something with me, I wouldn't have even gotten this far to telling y'all about cloning. So to the people telling me, Bob, I fear for your life, y'all don't worry. I'm in good hands. Just continue spreading the word.
Also, Blacked Out Through Whitewash. Obviously talks about ancient Egypt, and but it goes into ancient America as well. It's even got the Flower of Life book in here, and you can check the bibliography and back check all the shit in the book, in the bibliography. But it talks about ancient America, the mound builders, and the people who who came before the Wichita and before the Olmecs, where all that shit came from, and all the people that was here before slavery. And for all the people that's like mad at white people and all this shit, like, we niggas fucked up way before white people got here, first of all, and you gotta understand that. So check out all them books, and share this story with other people who want to check out. That's just what I'm on right now. And just understand that when you read these books, you gotta understand what you're reading. It's just different perspectives of the same thing. Just take what you need from it. You know, whatever you don't like, whatever, throw it out. Learn some new shit. My name's Bob, produce message. I'm going bounce. Rahu. What you know about Rahu? What you know about the dark moon? The dark sun, my bad. Bob, are you still tied to the industry? I'm independent. But you gotta understand something, man. Like, everybody is in the Matrix right now. Everybody's tied into the Matrix. A lot of us are here because we're trying to, like, free people from the Matrix. It's the whole point. So look, the cloning shit is not what you think it is. It's not as simple as, well, why would somebody want to clone that nigga? What that nigga got? If you understand how the physical world is a reflection of the spiritual world, and you start fucking with the DNA and shit, you understand that you're tapping into some other shit. You're like ripping a portal open on some shit. The movie Boys of Brazil, even the movie Congress, she agrees to give them her image. They like scan her or some shit, and then she goes into this digital world. So everything is connected, and they need the influential people to maintain the mind control and how they program your subconscious mind to respond to things. And they need these influential leaders to trigger your mind control, to trigger your trauma, basically trigger your trance.
So yeah, like detoxing, you do a heavy metal detox. You need to do a parasitic detox. It's different types of detoxes, but look, I gotta warn y'all, man. When y'all do detoxes, like, you gotta stay. You gotta be careful with that shit. Like, some detoxes are really strong, and they can like knock you off they can put you on your ass basically. And some detoxes are a little bit more mild, and so, you know, just keep that in mind when you're detoxing. You know, don't hurt yourself.
It's ironic that You know, people believe that we've hit like the scientific plateau of discovery and technology. The devil can only operate through your ignorance. You gotta make the devil your bitch. You gotta put that nigga in a skirt. Make that nigga your bitch. That's all I'm saying. Your mind is all. Your mind, everything is a projection from. They actually explain how your pineal gland and your pituitary gland is represents the lingam and the yoni, which in the womb everybody has a clit until it either develops into a man, a phallus, or it stays a woman. So sex actually happens in the mind. And when you have a microcosmic orbit that goes from your perineum up your spine to the roof of your mouth, and then from your perineum up the front to the tip of your tongue. And so when you hit the roof of your mouth, you close that circuit, and so you charge the circuitry between the pituitary gland and the pineal gland, and sex actually happens in the mind. When people say they're sapiosexual, that's why they say that, is because the shit's happening in the mind. And so basically, when you get this energy circulating, that's what unlocks the mind. And they actually explain how we are literally, in the physical form, we are a fallen state of the sacred geometry that happens in our mind, in the most innermost workings of where we're seated at. So your body is like a projection of your mind, basically, in so many words. It's a lot of shit that I know, man. Like, I know a lot of shit, and I'm not saying that to brag, but it's like, it's not just important. Like, knowledge isn't the only thing. It's like, everybody thinks you just like go learn all the knowledge in the world and you're set. But it's like, you gotta have wisdom. You gotta have it. You gotta be centered right here. If you're not centered right here, all that knowledge don't mean shit. You know, I'm like a practical person too. Like, I feel like you should be able to take the knowledge you learn and apply it to life, and be able to have some type of productivity out of it. But that only comes through wisdom. It doesn't come around from walking around just dropping knowledge like you the smartest motherfucker on the block. Like, yeah, fucking high and mighty and shit. Like, you know everything. Nobody likes those type of people. Nobody wants to be talked to condescending. Nobody likes the whole condescending narrative. Like, nobody likes the high and mighty, righteous. Like, nobody like that. Ain't got time for that shit. Niggas got kids. Niggas got bills to pay. Niggas ain't got out here trying to like argue with your high and mighty ass. Like, niggas is trying to build. And then it's just kind of exhausting. You know, it's kind of draining. So, you know, it's just more so about the wisdom, man. That's like one of the main things. It's like, is us being able to build and integrate amongst ourselves. Little do people know, there's a doctor who proved in court that he cured over 77 patients of cancer and AIDS. And this happened in the 80s, and here it is, 2016. Motherfuckers still don't know. I was researching Dr.Sebi and all his work, and how
there isn't a black leader in America that is interested in the health of the black race. They are not in the position to respond. If they were, my first case of AIDS was cured in 1984. And since then, we've been curing people of lupus and herpes and cancer and blindness. Not one black leader ever said, well, let us help the brother.
Like, nobody put this nigga on. This nigga's been curing paralysis, AIDS, cancer, blindness, nigga, since the fucking 80s. He brought all 70 of his patients into the court to prove this shit. And ain't nobody put this nigga on? Nobody. And also, what niggas don't know is that Left Eye was going to see Dr.Sebi in Honduras, where his facilities were. You know they have people that actually go to these forums and these chat rooms and these live streams, and they just talk shit just to break up the shit, break up the unity. But we ain't gonna let that shit happen. These fucking haters. Can the pineal gland be removed? That's a good question. You know, in the book Holographic Universe, they talk about how the physical is just a reflection of the spiritual, and they were removing parts of like they'll experiment on rats and shit, and they'll remove parts of their brain, and they would still be able to function properly without losing any memory or anything. So I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like you might. I don't feel like you could exist without a pineal gland. Like, could you exist without a heart? You know what I mean? So I guess like you have to have the apparatus. Damn, I just died. I guess you have to have an apparatus for your spirit to operate, to animate. So look, the moon and the stars are not holograms to deceive us. What the ancients did, like, if y'all know about the Kabbalah, the tree of life, all of those were based off of the planets, like Jupiter, like Jupiter is based off the god Ptah, and all of these things were like maps to show you about your inner workings. Not necessarily to deceive you, but just a map that this is what's happening. This is what's happening internally.
And then you got some people who go, "Oh, I mean, there's no way they're lying to us, man. There's no way there's corruption out there. Come on, bro."
Well, I mean, those are the people who practice a religion called statism. Look it up, statism. So ask yourself, do you think that we figured it all out? You know, we've defeated corruption in government, the civil rights era, slavery. That's just a thing of the past. We have equality now. The government's not lying to us, just sometimes. It seems to me, in my opinion, the only thing that has really developed is our cell phones, but the quality of life has not. Wealth is still hoarded. Homelessness still exists. Foods have no nutritional value anymore. There's nothing but fast food in the hood. And you can make the argument, well, the quality of life is better. You know, it's not like there's slavery anymore. It's not like there's racial segregation anymore. I'll say this. They still gonna demand your money, and if you don't give them their money, they gonna come to your motherfucking door and snatch your motherfucking ass up. Now, if you really look into the heart of the matter, people feel like we need government because they feel like people are just inherently bad. It's basically a case of, you know, throw the stone and point the finger. You know, the finger is being pointed at us, like we're the bad guys. You know, they'll gentrify a neighborhood or oppress one community and then blame them for wanting to eat. And I'm not just talking about poverty in communities that are impoverished. Even farmers, you can't even grow crops without getting help from the government. Bob, who is they? Who are you talking about? I'm talking about the elite who own every fucking major business, telecommunication company, everything.
It's all connected to why certain black leaders get replaced, and all of a sudden they switch up and they doing shit that they preached against. They spent their whole legacy preaching against some shit, and then all of a sudden they cool with it. It's why you don't never see these niggas. There's certain niggas you just never see in public. You don't never see these niggas in public. And they either kill them or replace them, or they fake their death. They go into hiding. I'm telling y'all, like, I know, like, I study this shit. I know this shit. I'm not even saying it on cocky shit, but it's just the truth. Like, that's what the fuck is going on. From politics to hip hop music to rock music. Call me crazy. I got lots of friends in the industry who I can't talk to no more. Can't even get them on the phone. Talking about somewhere I've been at. Nigga, I've been here. So it's all connected. But they're not gonna talk about this shit. They're gonna run a Bob Flat Earth headline probably. They ain't gonna talk about this cloning shit. And it's not even on no racism shit, but it's literally understanding the genome and how the Aboriginal man carries melanin And I know most of y'all probably just like, oh man, shit, melanin, man, just shit to keep you protected from the sun. Like, nah, bro, it's deeper than just skin color. Shit ain't got nothing to do with skin color. You need to learn the metaphysical properties and the quantum properties of melanin and what it actually does. Like, speaking from a scientific standpoint, this is no conspiracy. This is, you know, there's a whole science behind this shit. You know, they teach us this basic earth science, but you got to understand the metaphysics of the kundalini energy and the pineal gland and, you know, your spinal fluid. And you also need to understand, if only a certain kind of people produce it, why are those people the most oppressed people in the world?
All y'all need to be researching as much as I am. Shit. If all y'all research as much as the next person and fucking really, cause you have to understand, you have to understand that all the shit that we've been taught is bullshit, and we have to, it's like college again, we have to go relearn everything, cause it's all bullshit, like what we were taught.
You know, and the majority of the world is in debt. The majority of the world. I'm working on my road rage. That's another thing. They want us to always be irritable, uncomfortable. You know, relax, breathe. I'm gonna say this. There's well-documented evidence of people being cured of cancer and AIDS, right? Well-documented evidence of people being killed by cops, police brutality, etc., etc. The list goes on. No justice in the courts. At any given moment of anybody's life, everybody's always in debt to something, whether it be a bill or student loans or some type of loan. So it seems to me that there's nobody looking out for us. And these are the people who we give a large percentage of our income to. So think, to what extent will they go? You know, what's the line?
So I wasn't trying to get that deep, man. I know I lost some people, but it'll make sense. It'll make sense the more you keep hearing about it. You gotta just know that. You gotta just know.
Thank you for watching Up TV. If you like this video and would love to see more, check out these great videos here. And don't forget to subscribe to Up TV and Up TV 2 for even more great videos.